Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Beef, where we not only talk about business problems, we talk about business solutions.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Or we did.
Or we haven't for 3 years, however you want to look at it.
Well, we've had business problems in 3 years.
Oh,
but
we just haven't solved them, I guess.
Or we're waiting. We're all pent up, waiting
We're
to
kind
solve
of holding them for everybody.
So obviously, 3 years. It's been 3 years. We advertised season 3 in what, 2016 or 17? What did we decide?
It was 2017, I think, when we started promoting it,
early,
advertising it a little bit. Yeah, we had some big plans at that point.
Big plans. Oh, what we were going to do is we're going to like break off into non-business problems.
Yep.
We had a whole season scripted. I mean, it was like actually going to be pretty funny.
It was. It was going to be,
and it still could be. Except we've decided that probably was too ambitious.
Yeah,
why?
Probably a little too ambitious. I don't know.
Because
and then things started changing. Yeah, you know what? We had businesses to run. We had things to do. We had a lot of things pulling at us at the time. It was kind of a crazy time a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago. Yeah. So things had changed.
We were going to do videos. Remember, we were going to do my favorite idea was we were going to do the vegan episode.
Oh, yes. We were going to do they were like sausage curtains. And we were going to have it hanging in a room,
come into my house.
That's right.
And have to walk through a sausage.
God, that would have been amazing.
This is the kind of
that one.
Yeah, but the thing is, we said, okay, that's not going to work because our jobs are to help businesses and be somewhat professional. Right. So we were going to go off the rails, hoping that we'd make it.
Just not sure how a sausage curtain helps businesses in the end.
Or helps us in our pursuit of trying to help
actually getting business in the end. I don't think that
it would have been all in good fun. I can guarantee you. But
different audience, I'd say that different segments. Yeah, potentially different.
Yes, we have to practice what we preach in a way.
Exactly.
We are targeting a segment, and that segment may have been turned off by some of our ideas. Although it was all going to be funny, but anyway, so then things started to happen, right? So we were working for the same company. I left that company. I started my own business, which has been fantastic.
Yep.
And then you stayed with that business for a while, and now you've left that business.
I have.
And we said, well, you know what? Another problem I guess we had was the whole having to get together and set the whole video cameras.
Be near each other. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like we were doing, but it was a lot of work we were putting into it for like not the most incredible quality that you could have. So we were like,
for sure.
Yeah, if we can find an easier way to do all this,
yep,
we might be able to actually incorporate it into our normal lives.
Exactly.
And here we are.
Now we found an easier way.
We hope.
Right? And we were considering, don't forget, we were considering years ago that this was what we were going to do, right? We started using Zoom. We were trailblazers in the Zoom world.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant this was what we were going to do for a living. We actually also thought about that.
Yeah, but, that's the dream part, right?
Right.
No, but we were saying we should do this in Zoom because we could do it more quickly, right? We could get set up. We could be able to get them done and be able to talk to each other, but not have to make the travels back and forth. So now here we are. We've been sort of forced into it via,
whatever this
global pandemic.
Yeah, global pandemic.
But you know what? Things happen for a reason, and maybe this is part of the reason. Who the heck knows?
We actually did a test, if you remember. Maybe that'll make it into the archive someday.
Yeah, we did. That's
like
right.
A couple of years ago. But but I think this is cool, and I think this is something we can get back into. That's the hope anyway. But I guess just to kick it off, we do have to start with some beef, right?
Yeah.
And so here's the beef that I'm going to throw on the table.
All right, bring it to me. Bring it.
All right. So as we've been going through this global pandemic, which right now it's October of 2020.
It is.
And we've been going through this, I guess, the last 6-7 months, something in that neighborhood.
7 months or so, yeah, for sure.
And particularly at the beginning, but it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of companies that I was dealing with, and there was a lot of excuses that they were giving. Mm-hmm. Companies that I don't think should have been giving excuses because I don't know how they were affected, but the excuse went something to the effect of, due to COVID, we can't blah, 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 or due to COVID, your wait times may be extended, or due to COVID, we don't. And I'm like, okay, I get that for some businesses, right, that have been shut down. Totally understand that. I'm not even calling those businesses at that time because I get it. You're shut down.
Right.
But businesses like my cable company, for example, what?
Yes.
And that's just one I'm pulling out of the air.
For sure.
There was 100 other examples, but there were many that I was like, what is it due to COVID that's causing you to give me bad service?
Right.
And that's still happening to this day with companies that really should have no reason to be saying that.
Right.
Am I alone here? I mean, this is an honest question.
No, I don't think you're alone. Here's my viewpoint on this, right? It depends on the business. I understood it in the beginning, as you had mentioned, right? When there are big changes, right? There were employees that weren't able to go into the office, right? There were huge changes in the beginning of this whole thing. Yeah. Kids being home from school, needing to work from home, in order to manage your kids. Maybe there's layoffs because of companies or organizations not making the same amount of money, right? All of these things we understood, made sense, the whole nine. Now, we are 7 months plus into this. Now, I'm not saying everybody should be functioning normal, but what I am saying is, continuing on with your example of a cable company, there are some businesses that are striving, that are thriving, that are doing like well,
really well.
Yeah.
People I've upgraded my services. Right.
I'm sure no one's cutting the cord through. Right. Yeah. No one's cutting the cord through all of this. Right. No. It's good. Right. Their business is going well.
Right.
And it is also, from a service perspective, something that can be done from home.
Yeah.
You're not manufacturing in a plant at this point in time. You're answering my calls. And I know a lot of businesses have been doing that from home, where we've got to be more understanding if a baby cries or a dog barks. And that's cool with me. I'm cool with that. But we still expect to get some service because it's possible. The problem here is when a business like this is using it as an excuse when they've always been poor, right? Even before pre-pandemic, it's been atrocious.
Horrible,
right?
Yeah.
Right? Why now does all of this fall on us when what we really are looking for is some good service? We've been impacted from COVID as well. We've been impacted through all of this as well.
Badly.
Pretty huge.
And that's exactly it. Like that's the problem. And I think that's what I'm driving at, is that I almost feel like some companies are using it as an excuse to provide the same bad level of service that they've always been providing, and maybe even some level worse.
For sure.
And my thought is, well, first of all, there's no reason that I could see that you should be impacted negatively to the point where you would say, I should understand, right? But then also, if you are impacted negatively, and this is another gripe I have, like, shouldn't you be lowering your prices? Because I'm impacted negatively too. I lost a lot of business. I lost a lot of income. I don't have as much income. So why should I be expected to pay you the same, almost like in a charitable way? Because I've had this with a couple. My local gym, this happened, right? My gym was like almost giving me a guilt trip. We're closing down. But if you want to continue to pay us, we would love that. Like, okay, that's not going to happen. Then they open back up, right? And they start to say, well, you have to wear your mask. You have to schedule time. I understand those are all restrictions. Agree with them or not, that's what it is. But it's the same exact amount of money.
Right.
Well, hold on a second. So my service has been decreased by a massive amount, and somehow I'm supposed to pick up the tab on that?
Right. Yep.
I don't know. There's something about that doesn't make sense to me, right?
It doesn't make sense. And I can't help but think about our businesses, right? When I was doing training, or you're doing training now, right? We always wanted to do the consulting and the training and all of that in person. When you're in person, there's a value that's put on that, right?
Yeah.
There's a price and there's a value that's given. Now, if we're doing things virtually or doing things online or we're doing things different, we're not there in person. The expectation from our customers is that the price is going to be a little less because the value they feel we're adding is a little less. So what have you done? Lowered some prices. We had to lower the prices
by a significant amount in some cases.
So you've understood we're both in this. I'm going to deliver this differently. I understand you're getting less value, so the price is down. Why is it only the business like yours or like at mine that we are lowering the prices? We are fitting the need still, but we understand the value is not there, so we're giving a discount or giving a break. These other businesses are not.
Or some of them, right? Some of them. And the ones that they're like expecting that someone else, because I could have done that. I could have said, well, you know what? I'm going to be delivering half the class that I normally deliver. But you know what? I've really been negatively impacted by COVID. So my prices stay the same. I can guarantee you that most of my customers, who of course are businesses, right, would have said, no, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But as consumers, for some reason, we've been expected in many cases to foot the bill.
Right.
And I just feel like that's a miss, right? I think that's a really big miss. One other story, because I don't want to go too long, but this was kind of earlier on in the COVID thing, but I swear to God, this happened, is I bought a little COVID gift for myself.
Probably some musical thing of some kind, right?
Nice synthesizer. Right?
Oh, okay, perfect.
Beautiful. I was been waiting for in fairness, just so that, I'm not totally irresponsible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
As I ordered it way longer ago, and I couldn't cancel it. So anyway,
of course.
So in comes this thing. Okay, so I was waiting for it for a while. It comes. And the company that shipped it to me was supposed to have shipped it in a box that was not the box that the synthesizer comes in, right? Like an external box to protect it.
Yeah, sure.
They didn't. And when it came, now this is, the reason that's important is because this is a synthesizer box, clearly picture of the synthesizer, electronic, fragile. You can see it right there, right?
For sure.
The thing comes, it's completely crushed in the middle. Okay. To the point where when you open the box, the synthesizer is crushed. And on top of the box, you could see 2 big boot prints. I mean, huge, like size 13s, right?
So maybe someone stepped on it.
Maybe. Could be. Could be that somebody stepped on it.
It's a Sherlock Holmes in me. I'm going to guess somebody probably stepped on it. Yeah.
So I call them up. And of course, this is not going to work for me, right?
Right, of course.
And I promise you, their reasoning that they gave, well, due to COVID. And I said, wait a second.
Goodness.
What are you talking about? And this was one of those instances where I know that they really weren't trying to say that it was due to COVID.
Yeah.
But I think they had just been so conditioned that was the reasoning, right? I was like, well, due to COVID. I was like, whoa. What do you mean due to COVID?
Due to COVID, the delivery man had to step on your synthesizer in order to get it out of the truck.
And then they had to backtrack into it. Like, oh, well, that's why our warehouse is down a little bit. That's why they didn't package it in a box. And then, the shipping, people are shipping so many things. It's becoming, I'm like, there is no way that my synthesizer was stepped on due to COVID, right? I was like, I can't even begin to understand how that makes any sense.
That is absolutely crazy. And you know what else bothers me about this whole thing? There are real businesses that are being impacted.
Like a lot.
Everybody uses this excuse, even when it doesn't really impact you, it's taking away from the real ones that have been impacted by this stuff. Don't just use it as an excuse, please. Do the work. And if you are impacted, all I ask is that you understand that so am I. I've gone through a lot over the last 7 months, extremely, quite a bit of stuff, right? We'll talk about that in another episode. But to ask it just to be impacted on me or just to be done to me, let's talk about this together. And we talk about things like a cable company. I don't care if you give me a 10% discount. Give me a call. Show that you know that this is also impacting me. That's all I ask.
Yeah, and I only want the discount if your service is worse. Like if you're saying, I can't deliver the same level of service because of COVID.
Of course.
Fine. Then you need to lower my price.
Then I'll adjust the price based on the value that you're giving me. It's value-based pricing. It's
That's it. Now, if you don't do that, here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to do business with you, which some companies, I have the luxury of that. Some I don't. And there's another rub in there. They kind of got me. Yeah. My gym doesn't have me. As you could probably see.
In more ways than one.
Right. So who am I hurting? I don't know, but I couldn't go back. I was like, I'm not going to do that. If you're not lowering the price to accommodate the lower level of service that I'm not going to go back.
Right.
I might not be alone in that, right? Or I might be alone. I don't know, but that's kind of the way I'm sticking to it. And I believe that the companies that figure this out, because what my gym could have done is figured out other ways to add value, right?
Sure. For sure.
And if that value mattered to me, then I would pay for it. If it didn't matter to me, then I wouldn't. But at the end of the day, figure out other ways to add value. Because I know that they're regulated.
It could have been videos. It could have been tips and things you could do at home. It could have been all different pieces that could be added for value.
Lower the price and figure out how to operate, or add more value and add value that I care about. But businesses that do that and kind of figure that out, I think they're the ones that are going to win through this whole thing.
I think you're right.
And the ones that don't just kind of put their hands out and say, sorry, I'm impacted, therefore please pay me for it.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be the ones that survive in the end. That's
I agree.
my
I agree.
But there you go.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. A little heated one at this time.
We start off
very apropos for the time and everything.
Start off a little bit, a little hot, right? Come in hot.
Why not?
Anyway, but this is still fun,
I like it. I love it.
I think that that's the takeaway for businesses. Don't pass your pain on to your customers. Figure it out and help them. and then they're going to help you, right? I think
right.
that's the end of the day.
Continue to look at the value you're adding and make sure that if you're adding less value, you're adjusting the price or what's going on to your customers so that you continue to match. Show the empathy, be connected, good service. That's all we're asking. That's it.
I think so.
Yep.
I think so. All right. Not as good as a sausage curtain, but
no, you never know. You never know.
We'll get better. We'll get better.
Go off the rails one time.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for joining us again, everyone here. We hope that you've stuck with us, and if you have stuck with us, thank you. If you like what you saw, please leave us a comment. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends we want to grow this show, and we will promise to be more consistent in bringing you episodes without 3-year gaps between them.
100%. 100%.
And so hopefully we will see you back here next week doing this same thing.
No doubt.
In the meantime, thanks for joining. We'll see you back here in another episode of
Beyond the Beef.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.